I'm milling about with Ronen Rubinstein, who's starring in the film No Escape. Hi, Ronen.
Hi, Robin. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. You know, my married name is Rubinstein with an E. So,
Whoa. Wow. I've never met someone with the same last name. Cool.
but you're Rubin I. You're R-U-B-I. I'm R-U-B-E.
Oh, that's how 95% of people spell my name. And I still have to tell them, like, that's not how you spell it. But, yeah.
And they probably say it wrong all the time also, right?
Yeah, my name's been butchered over the years, but, it's fine.
So you like my backdrop? This is actually an escape room behind me.
I was wondering what that is. It's very. I hope the people will be able to see this because it's very good.
It is real, and you know what? I don't like gory movies. I usually like hide, and I was very taken with the whole show, mainly because a couple of years ago I didn't even know escape rooms even existed. What about you?
Same here. I think my first experience was in 2016. It was my first escape room. I remember it because it was in Vancouver, and we were shooting a show, and it was so trippy, and I've never even heard about them before that.
So how did you escape? What did you do?
We figured out the riddles, and it was a big group experience, and it was actually really, really fun. I've done a few since that, but yeah, it's like a real life Clue, pretty much. I enjoy it.
Did you do one before this film just to sort of get back into it again?
No. I didn't, and my character is never in the escape room. He sort of organizes the whole show. So I was on the outside of things. Yeah.
So was this done anywhere near Russia?
No, it was done very near Los Angeles. Yeah, we have some incredible stock footage of Moscow, so that helps. We also faked a lot of Moscow. The airport, actually, when the group lands, is in Ontario, California. And they made it look like Moscow International Airport, and you would actually never know. It's actually really impressive. So no, there was no Moscow.
But you actually did speak Russian, yes.
Yes, it's my first language, and yeah, it was my first time really diving deep into a Russian character. So that was really exciting.
Did anybody else on the set know what you were saying?
Yes, so Emilia plays my girlfriend in the movie. She speaks Russian, and then my two bodyguards are actually Russian as well. And then I was sort of teaching the rest of the cast just a couple words here and there. And there's actually a few scenes where Keegan improvs a few words in Russian, and they actually kept them in the movie. So that was really funny. There was a lot of cracking up in between takes when Keegan would try to speak Russian. So that was pretty hysterical, actually.
Why didn't they choose to use subtitles? Because we never know what he's saying half the time. You just have to figure it out.
That's a question for Will. I think what I remember it being is that we sort of wanted the audience to feel what was going on in the movie, instead of literally knowing what we were saying, and hopefully the message is conveyed through the tone of the scene and body language and stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe there will be subtitles in the DVD or something. I don't know.
So, I mean, you really could have gotten away with saying anything. You could have said, "My dog pooped," and we wouldn't have known the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't take that risk. But yeah, it was, we stuck to the script. Also, we're dealing with, when I'm speaking Russian, I'm speaking to people that speak Russian as well. So a lot of the times there's stuff that you really can't translate word for word into English. I don't know if that was a part of it, but yeah, it's a very different language. It's very specific. So yeah, I don't know why, to be honest.
How did you come to have Russian as your first language?
My parents are from the Soviet Union, um,
Ah,
and then luckily they got away, and then um, went to Israel, and that's where I was born. And then I moved to America when I was 5. So since I was a kid, we spoke Russian around the house, and it was like Russian, Hebrew, English, and Hebrew for some reason was quickly forgotten. I'm not very good at speaking Hebrew, but Russian and English are sort of the two languages that always flow in my brain, and that's how I talk to my parents. It's a lot of like back and forth.
oh, how gorgeous. I love it. I love it. So also I feel like this movie, Ronan, is kind of like a cautionary tale about vlogging and constantly being on our phones.
Social media, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think one of the biggest things this movie asks is why and and what are we doing all this for? You know, like who are we actually living for in front of the camera? And you know, putting literally everything out into the world, and for you know, for some people it's millions and tens of millions of people to watch and see and comment and judge and talk about, and it's you know, it's a very bizarre concept. I'm obviously on social media. I've you know, I've had my sort of issues of what do I want to talk about, what do I want to convey, what's what's sort of the point. That's overall, is what is the point of using social media, of doing what we do. So it definitely asks that question, and in the end you will see. Yeah.
Have you ever felt the sort of dangers and the byproduct of how social media is negative and can be that way?
Yeah, you know, it can be very hostile at times. Even when you are trying to, like me personally, even when you are trying to convey a positive and hopeful message, and you know, just trying to spread some, you know, some love and positivity, people will still try to butcher that and try to put in their little, you know, 5 seconds of negativity or hostility. Luckily, you can delete messages, which is nice, because I have read some really gnarly stuff under some of my posts. But you know, it's just you sort of learn not to pay attention to that, and I like to focus on the people that are affected in a positive light, and are really actually touched by what I'm talking about, and what I feel is important to me. And I've made some unbelievable connections and friendships over social media, and have heard hundreds and hundreds of stories about how something has really touched them deep, whether it's a character or a post or one of my causes or just something that I care about. So that is what I think is the beautiful part of social media. You know, there's obviously going to be a negative aspect to it, but I try not to put a lot of energy into that, because it sort of is a waste of energy.
Well, you are such a positive person. I've been reading about you, and you do give back. You have several causes that you work with, like Project Zero. And also, we just recently had 9/11, and I know how the first responders have kind of worshipped 9/11, 911 Lone Star. I shouldn't say 9/11,
Yeah.
in reaching out to you.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's sort of been the I think that's been the most surreal aspect of doing the show. I've had some really heartbreaking stories from firefighters, whether it's, you know, their experiences on the job, or their experiences of being a gay fireman, and not feeling comfortable to come out, or you know, really express themselves truthfully. And it's surreal, you know. And there's a lot of people that have lost their parents in 9/11 actually, that have reached out and just, you know, really, it's amazing that they take the time to, you know, convey how this show has affected them on such a deep personal level. And you know, we sort of have this perspective of we're just actors going to work, but I think with this sort of show, I think there is a heightened level of responsibility, and care that we need to treat this work with, because we are affecting people on such a deep personal level. So I always keep that in the back of my mind of like, there are people watching this show that have a very, very, very personal connection to it. So just to treat it with the utmost respect and care, honestly.
It's a really, really good way of doing things. Do you like look at your career that way? Is that how you choose roles? Because you want to make sure that they affect people?
Well, I wish I could say yes, but I haven't had the privilege of choosing my roles. I've
They just come to you.
I've been very fortunate in auditioning for parts and getting them. You know, I'm not proud of a lot of my work, but there are some things that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and 911 Lone Star is at the very top of that list, on so many levels. I think starting from the very top of being able to be part of the Ryan Murphy universe. And then that trickles all the way down to, you know, the characters that we're conveying, and playing alongside Rob Lowe and Liv Tyler, and Gina Torres is going to join us for season 2. So
I know, cool.
it's just it's all still very surreal to me. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. You know, this whole business is still very mystical to me, and I hope it stays that way, because it really is a beautiful thing that we're doing.
Yeah. Has Rob asked you to come on to his podcast yet?
No, I'm afraid I'm not famous enough yet. I don't know if you've seen his guests, but it's pretty intense. It's like Chris Pratt and Magic Johnson and Demi Moore. So I don't think I'm on that list quite yet, but maybe one day he'll do me a favor.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So how have you been dealing with lockdown and all this craziness that we're going through?
Oh man, you know, it feels like each month is like it's like a different year in itself. I could vividly remember where I was mentally in March, and then April was completely different, and May was completely different. And you know, it sort of changes for me week by week. I think I've had a really good grasp on things for the past few months. And then, you know, obviously Black Lives Matter happened, George Floyd's murder happened. So that was a whole different shift in dealing with everything. So that just added to the intensity of this year. And now we're dealing with the entire West Coast pretty much being on fire. So
Are you smelling it? Is it near you?
yeah, we've been pretty much locked in our houses for like 3 days, because it's like highly recommended not to be outside, and the smell is awful. I think today is actually the first day where it's like decent. I still wouldn't be outside. And it's just sort of one thing after another. And, you know, it's much easier said than done to try to stay positive and hopeful. But I'm trying, man, you know, and luckily enough, full circle, all of social media, and I think the good that it could do, that sort of kept me going. And, you know, to be able to hear from people, their experiences, and how they feel about what I'm doing, I think that really keeps me going, because sometimes you just want to shut everything off and just sort of, just really be sad. I feel like that a lot, but I feel like I have to keep going, not only for myself, but for a lot of people. And, luckily a lot of the people that watch what I do are young. So the fact that I can reach a younger generation and, actually get through to them in a way, it's really beautiful, and it's the biggest honor, because they are the future generation, and they're gonna have so much difficult stuff to deal with. So that definitely keeps me going more than anything, for sure.
Well, I'm certainly a big fan, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
And what do you want audiences to come away with after they see No Escape?
I want them, first and foremost, I want them to have fun when they watch it, and sort of take the time to, just shut everything out that's happening in the world and just enjoy this really funny film. And then maybe at the very end, just simply ask yourself, why do we do the things that we do on social media? Why do we sort of look up to certain people on social media? And just find what keeps you going. And I would hope that what keeps you going with social media is something positive and motivating. Yeah. Okay,
great. So my brother from another mother, it was really nice chatting with you.
Thank you.
All right, take good care.
All right, ciao, you too.
Bye-bye.
Always new. Always refreshing. Always candid. Always milling about. Robin Milling delivers what celebrities are saying to you.